My name is Sam Smith. I'll be presenting about using analytics in freshman recruitment. To start off, I work at Arizona State University. Arizona University is one of the largest state universities within the United States. They had about 21,000 number of degrees awarded in the 2014 to 2015 school year. And across the board, they're a pretty good school. So they're number 3 all time for most academics, All-American athletes in the Pac-12, and then their 4-year graduation rates are above average and have risen quite a bit over the last 10 years. More specifically, we'll be talking about the Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College at ASU. This is a college at ASU that offers about 6 different degree programs, most of which lead to teacher certification. And then on the bottom of the slide, you can see the face-to-face numbers at the college. So obviously, it's a smaller college within ASU, but for the purpose of this, we're going to be looking at the programs that are basically just face-to-face at the undergraduate level. Although you can also see that it is a ranked college, so they're number 14 in the nation and one of the fastest climbing schools of education. The issue that we're looking at here is that they're seeing major application decreases. So 50% decrease in freshman applicants from the 2013 school year until now, according to the ASU admissions. Students are being talked out of becoming teachers by the people closest to them. So not only are less students applying to ASU, but students across the nation are being talked out of the profession of teaching for several reasons, really based on money or based on just a poor lifestyle. So 25% of teachers will retire by 2018, causing about 1.5 million job openings in the United States. And currently in Arizona, we're seeing a huge problem, especially in the rural areas. Students are being taught by teachers with little to no teaching experience, and some don't even have bachelor's degrees. So we're looking to fix that here at ASU at the Teachers College. And again, so we have 42% of recent high school graduates do express interest in teaching, but then less than 10% go to pursue it. And then most of those teachers end up going back to districts that they either went to or very close to their hometown. Teaching is a profession that ultimately makes most teachers and people happy, and most students have, or all students have had a teacher at some point. So they've been inspired by them, they've seen them, they know about the profession, and ultimately a lot of students do want to go into it. So 42% of students graduating high school say they're interested. So clearly that's a great thing because we have 42% of all high school graduates in the United States to hopefully tap into eventually to try and get them to not only become teachers, but some of them to come to ASU and learn from our teaching program. So our current practices, I'm an outreach coordinator at the Teachers College. So our goal is basically to work with high school and community college students and bridge the gap in between wherever they're at and then coming to the Teachers College at ASU. So we do that by doing high school presentations, phone calls, emails, pretty standard things. So the issue is that most recruiters track their own students within personal lists or Google documents, and students receive many different communications. So different communication from the Teachers College, from admissions, and as a high school senior, it's a pretty confusing thing, and they aren't really sure who they're talking to and when, and they get overwhelmed by all kinds of different communications, so phone calls, emails, etc. And lastly, we use Salesforce, which is a CRM, a customer relationship management software. But most of the staff doesn't really know how to use it, therefore it's not utilized well, and sometimes it isn't even utilized at all, which is a huge disadvantage to the Teachers College. So just a little bit of background on enrollment management. What we'll be talking about today is a few different levels of it. So in my job, we worked, if you look at table 6.1 on the left, we work with anywhere from suspect students to enrolled students. So anywhere from a student who has never even heard about the university, but the university is interested in, all the way to students who have eventually paid their enrollment deposits and are looking to attend the university in the fall. So analytics in higher education. Analytics have really been utilized within the last 20 years as technology has developed, and it's mostly proven to be very, very successful. And so that's really what we're looking for in this project, is to try and find some sort of analytical help. And in my case, the analytical help is to increase freshman enrollment at the Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College. So how can analytics help? Currently, we're using Salesforce, but it isn't working effectively because the whole team is not on board. They're not going to trainings. They don't really understand how to use it. And then Salesforce doesn't sync with other systems. We can't use ASU ID numbers to like track students. They're pretty hard to find sometimes. It doesn't help with advising. We can't link with their system, so there's no communication between different departments. There's no social media component, so we can't connect it to social media to track any kind of analytics within social media or marketing that way. And then Salesforce is also built for businesses, so they use a lot of business talk. Therefore, higher education staff members and faculty members don't always really understand what things mean, and buttons don't match up with like students or actually customers, and the verbiage just doesn't really jive well. It doesn't make it user friendly at all. So how else can we use analytics? Well, we can use data mining from sources such as the SAT and ACT to find more suspect students. So we can buy lists of students from parts of the SAT and ACT in order to try and reach out to students and get them to come to our university. We could create a survey of our own to eventually be mined for data. So we could give this survey to students, high school students across Arizona or potentially across the nation, to turn them into suspects or prospective students to try and get them to eventually come to ASU or become teachers. Or we can, we can also use analytical software to ensure all suspect and prospect students are given great communication service and are able to make an informed decision about attending Arizona State University. I think the most important part about that is the informed decision. We want to have a software that we can give very, very good information to students, give great communication so that in the end they know everything about our university. They know about financial aid, they know everything we can provide for them, they know exactly what they're going to be getting from us before they attend our university, so when they get here, it's a very transparent process. Analytics to the rescue, the tool set. The best thing that I could find that I think would work for ASU is a product called Illusion. So this is a CRM software that's built specifically for universities. It gives personalized communications that's really maximized results for other universities, automated workflows, and then it also integrates different aspects of teams, so all across the university, and even in parts of social media, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So first, it gives a very personalized web presence. So it gives a very, very user-friendly interface where it's easy to build relationships with all kinds of students as well as staff across the university. And so really anywhere from admissions, so admissions at ASU to the Teachers College to advising, all of us could really give a really good job of providing great service to our students. There's also online applications, so very, very easy to use. You can set it up in ways that'll be easiest for you. We can show applicants where they're at in the application process. So right now we do that through Blackboard, but if we had this software, we could actually link up with Blackboard, and instead of having to search in a bunch of different places, it would really give us the chance to see everything in one place and not be all over different websites and different softwares and applications. So really this would streamline the process of requesting and submitting different recommendations for everyone across the university. So whether a student calls me at the Teachers College or they call it admissions, they're going to get the same information no matter what. There's also a funnel tool, so basically we can figure out how to communicate to our students, whether they're suspects, prospects, whether they've made an enrollment deposit, whether or not they talk to advisors, things like that. It'd be a really, really easy way for us to begin communications and then follow through with communication and be effective with that during the whole process. I think the most important thing is the integration with core systems. So we can integrate the software into everything else we use. So everything from financial aid to Blackboard, we can use it to purchase names, we can figure out test scores. Really, it'll do everything we need to do, use the verbiage that we need in order to provide great service to our students, as well as give them all the details they need about college. And then it's also great about reports and analytics. So the software itself will actually run reports and give us analytics broken down in ways that we can contact our students. So finding lists of students from out of state or in state, or we can break them up by region for each recruiter so that we have a certain amount of work for each person to do in very targeted areas. That's very, very easy to use and easy to understand as well. We can also use it for events and travel management. So really, I guess the the real purpose of including this part is that the software will connect to absolutely anything that we're going to do as recruiters in a recruitment team. So we have one place to go. It's kind of a one-stop shop for us as a team to make sure that we're doing the best that we can do. We're tracking students and understanding our students' needs at all times. So big universities use this software. That's another huge part or a huge advantage to buying a software like this. It was designed for universities, it's been tested out by universities, and then bought by universities, and it's really done great things for them. So Texas Tech University has had a great experience with it. They have several different videos online talking about the advantages and the great things it's done for them. The University of Toledo as well, and then Oklahoma Christian University, which is a smaller university, says that it's saved them 37% of annual costs. I think that's interesting within the Teachers College because we're a smaller school as well, and I think that it could really potentially save us a lot of money as well and save us a lot of time and energy. So the benefits of new analytics. So like we've said or kind of summarizing what we've talked about so far, more efficient communication across the board. So communication between different people and places at ASU, along with communication to the student. Integration to other software. So we're going to be able to connect this to Blackboard, their My ASU page. It'll be easy to chat with admissions and really understand what everyone is talking about. And then easy integration with social media and possibly tracking who's on our social media so we find more suspects and prospects that way. We can actually have a social media presence, which we don't really have right now, and then we can use that social media presence to our advantage by finding new students and using more analytics that way. We'll have streamlined processes to make everything easier for the student and the Teachers College. We'll have quicker processes for submitted documents like shot records, test scores, anything like that. It'll be more user-friendly, so it'll be an overall better experience for students and staff. Staff can actually get trained on it. They'll be happy to use it instead of feeling like they're wasting their time on a product like Salesforce and never really diving in and using it. Potential costs. So buying the CRM, obviously, we have to train staff. There's a time aspect, so however long it takes to get the CRM installed with everyone as well as everyone trained. And then the first year hiccups, so really understanding how to use the new CRM, the new analytics, and really just spending the time to figure something new out. So challenges and solutions. So the staff that has a hard time with some technology and software will require dedication and training. That's a huge one, but Elution is going to provide university-style training that'll be adaptive to each university and understood by the staff. There's a cost associated, but I think the other universities have most definitely shown that using this will save costs in other areas. There might be frustration or kind of a fight back from current staff because they've had 3 different CRMs in 3 years, but I think this one is so user-friendly that it could most definitely make a difference, and once they see the interface, they'd be more likely to switch over. And there's also the time issue. So we're worried about how much time it's going to take to switch over from Salesforce, but it's built for universities and it's efficient about switching systems and training staff. So I think that's something we won't have to worry about too much. Lastly, we have privacy and ethics. That's kind of the biggest part because we want to protect our students and our staff. So a quick quote from some reading there about how important it is that we are very private and ethical about everything we do. We need to be transparent. We need to acknowledge that student identity is a transient, temporal, and context-bound construct. So we need to be transparent about everything that we do. I think that this software is going to give us a very easy approach to being transparent with students and making sure that we're providing them great service and the knowledge they need to make a good decision. We're providing a very secure tool here. So this was made for universities and has worked for universities. It's very, very private. We don't have to worry about sacrificing the security of our students or our staff. All communication is displayed, so we're going to know that every recruiter and every person at ASU is being very ethical in the conversations with students. So anything, not just like inappropriate conversations, but also making sure that we're giving students all the knowledge they need to make a very informed decision about a very, very expensive undertaking in college that they're going to make. And lastly, we're going to use a highly recommended software that's safe and secure. It's been used by other colleges, and I think that's the biggest thing here is other colleges have used it. It's been very effective for them. It's been very safe for them. It's provided their students exactly what they need, and so I think it would be a great choice for ASU. And then the works cited here for all of the information provided during the presentation. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed my analytical presentation.